Hello everyone, this is Bryant with Amusement Source, the official home of both SFOT Source and SFFT Source. If you follow us on social media, you would have seen that last week we posted a new prompt that actually popped up on the Six Flags websites that shows that there will be a reservation required to visit the theme park once they open post-COVID-19 shutdowns. So this week we actually have more information about how that reservation system is going to work. So let's jump right in. Now the whole purpose of the reservation system is to, number one, control the amount of people that are actually visiting the park each day, and number two, kind of control when people are arriving to the park and how many people are bunching up together in certain areas. So when this whole reservation thing rolls out, you'll see that you can reserve a day and a time that you'll enter the park, and that's just to kind of help control those two things. And of course, like many other businesses and even other theme park chains, Six Flags is doing everything they can to make sure that your visits to the park are safe. So we need to be as patient as possible, and let me try to help you kind of understand how all of this is going to work. So right off the bat, anyone with a season pass or a membership will be allowed to make a reservation once that whole program opens. Please note that if you have a daily ticket, they're not actually going to let you reserve right off the bat. They're going to kind of do this as a step-by-step process by letting in members and season pass holders, and then eventually they'll actually release it to daily ticket holders. So the whole reservation process will be online. It'll take about 5 to 7 minutes according to Six Flags, and basically what you'll do is you'll type in your daily ticket number, your season pass ID, your member ID, and that'll identify you to them. And then the next step is selecting the day and the time that you want to enter the park. Then Six Flags will actually show you a sanitation and social distancing video to show you the procedures, and then you'll actually have to acknowledge that you understand and agree to those procedures. So once you've acknowledged all of that information, you will actually be able to prepay for parking, masks, bags, etc., whatever they have available. And then once you've made your reservation, they're going to contact you electronically via email or text message or both, and just to confirm your reservation and your time the day of. So once you arrive to the park, you will check in, you'll pick up anything that you prepaid. Obviously you won't pick up parking, but if you prepaid for a mask or anything like that, then you will do that before you enter the park. We don't have any information on the mask and the bag situation, but once we do have that information, we'll let you know. So I know everyone's primary question is, when will the reservation system go online and can you reserve right now? As of the recording of this video, the reservation system is not available. You cannot make a reservation to visit your park. The primary reason being because the parks haven't announced an official reopening date. So once they announce a reopening date, we'll have a better idea of when those reservations open, and they will open shortly before the parks open. Please note that Six Flags will also send out a newsletter saying when the reservation process is open and available. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, or if you have your Six Flags emails going to spam, make sure you stay up to date on that. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how to make multiple reservations. Once the reservation system is online, they will open up all the dates for the 2020 operating calendar. Now, I do know that they're going to have a limited inventory at first, and I think it's probably, not something that you're really going to know if you're going to be visiting the park in 3 or 4 months. So they will kind of release inventory as they go, but you can make multiple reservations. And season pass holders and Six Flags members will have top priority to those reservation slots. So if a day is completely booked at the park you want to go to, you can be added to the wait list, and if anyone cancels or drops out, then they will open you up and set up a reservation for you. Now please note that Diamond and Diamond Elite members will get priority wait on that list, so it's kind of going to be divided. So you'll have a priority wait list, a regular wait list. If you're Diamond or Diamond Elite, you will get put on that priority wait list, and then they'll go from there. If you need to cancel your reservation for whatever reason, you can do that, and they do ask that you do that prior to 8 a.m. on the day that you plan on visiting the park. That way, if a spot opens, then they can get someone else into the park. You'll also be able to actually make a reservation for your entire party. So if you're a member and your kids or your significant other or your friends are members, you can actually all do one reservation. You just have to have their pass information. Every single person that plans on visiting Six Flags once they reopen will be required to make a reservation. There are no exceptions to that. And I know a lot of people are wondering, well, what if I don't make a reservation? Well, I mean, you're gonna have a reservation to get in. And just to touch on this a little bit more, there will be inventory of spots set aside specifically for season pass holders and members. So if that's a worry of yours, it looks like they've got you covered. Six Flags has also promised that if you kept your membership active, then any upgrades that you are supposed to get when the parks reopen will automatically be added to the pass and be available through the remainder of 2020. There is no talk on if you pick up a different looking member lanyard. You probably wouldn't, just because this is a kind of a limited situation, and it would probably really mess up their system if they had to hand out new lanyards and then hand out new lanyards again once you go back down to the level you are paying for. And of course, if you want to make a reservation to visit another Six Flags park, you are more than welcome to do so. It is not limited to your home park. So once this is available at other parks you want to go to, you can make reservations there. There is no extra charge to use the reservation system. This is just simply kind of the new norm for now so that Six Flags can open and operate safely. Also, like I said before, if you show up without a reservation, it is strongly discouraged in the words of Six Flags. And part of this is because they want to limit the amount of people that are coming in and out of the park and try to keep things as safe as possible for everybody. Now, you can make multiple reservations at once. The only downside to this is that the automated system will only be able to handle one reservation at a time. So if you want to make additional reservations, you actually have to call guest relations and set that up over the phone. The same thing kind of goes with the wait lists. If there's a day you want to visit and the reservations are gone, you can join more than one wait list for more than one day. One question is, can you transfer your reservation to somebody else? The answer is no. The only thing you can do is cancel your reservation. What happens if a guest arrives before their slotted entry time? Six Flags asks that you wait in your car. Like I said before, the whole purpose of this reservation system is to limit the amount of people that are going through security and going through front gate at a time. If you arrive after your slotted time, Six Flags is going to work as hard as possible to get you in when it is safe to do so, and they have guaranteed on their website that if you do arrive afterwards, they understand that things happen. They will ensure that you get entry into the park. What happens if a guest does not show up for their reservation? Well, Six Flags is kind of doing that empty thread again, and they are saying that you might be blacked out certain dates and that the priority you get in the reservation system will be reduced. And there were a lot of empty threats for reserving parking and not showing up. I think this one is probably a lot more serious because they're going to follow this, pretty precisely, and they want it to be as efficient and useful as possible. Once you're at the park, you can stay for however long you want. There isn't a time period. The only time limitation is when you can arrive, which is something you pick when you make the reservation. Now, obviously, this may not answer all the questions you have. We're still very early in this process. I've actually posted a link in the description below that's going to kind of be an ongoing, updated piece on our website with information. I encourage all of you to visit our social media outlets because that is the quickest way to find new information about what's going on. And Facebook and Twitter in particular, if any news breaks or we get any new information, it's going to go there first. If you have any questions or comments about this new reservation system, please let us know in the comments below. I know a lot of people are going to consider this an inconvenience, but personally, I would rather go through this reservation process than not be able to visit theme parks at all. And that's really the situation we're in right now. We've got to protect each other, and we've got to think about more than just ourselves. We plan on having another live stream pretty soon, and we're going to keep it pretty lighthearted. We're going to actually talk about things like our first theme park experiences, etc. Of course, we'll take your questions, but we're not really going to harp on the whole pandemic thing. We've done that over the last 2 live streams, so we'll try to keep that at a minimum. We're also going to have another decade in review video for Six Flags Over Texas coming out soon, and this time we're actually going to look at 2000 to 2009. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be our next big video that comes out. We thank you all for watching, and I think we're actually starting to inch closer to to hopefully seeing you soon at a theme park. Y'all stay safe.